Just making sure if I'm going live yet. We have drops this morning, I believe. Yep, there we are. Okay. Sorry I'm so early today in terms of like haven't gotten anything done. I was trying to get my writs done before I got on, but it just isn't gonna happen. So you're gonna have a little bit of writs. We can always talk about news while we're doing this. I am, hey Leslax, in pain this morning, pretty bad. My jaw is messed up. So I'm not like entirely chipper, but I'm happy to see my friends so that I'm here. I'm here. All right, yes, drops are on. Sorry, my jaw hurts a lot. So today we have, what's today? Today is the 14th. We still have a couple of days to work on certain contests. Jay Hart's got his luck contest on March 17th. So if you haven't done one, he's really encouraging smaller builds. You can really just throw something together. He even said like something that's like 5 or 10 pieces of furnishings could be good enough. I'm not a big fan of these bite-sized ones, but since we're all stuck at home, might as well do everything, right? That we can, or that we feel inspired to do. Thank you. I don't know if it's going to get better. It tends to... Well, I need to go see the doctor later in the week anyway for my arthritis, so hopefully he'll be able to do something for it. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Next. I think I already did clockwork on this character, but next we have Happy Birthday DDA. Now it's a third birthday for DDA, and so we're supposed to use our third eye, whatever that means, to come up with something with the 3 theme. I didn't realize that, and I submitted a home, so I need to ask Woobin which home I submitted, and then try to figure out how to add a 3 theme to it. Hold on. Hello, Tarhakas. I submitted. All right, so that's kind of dumb on my part. I don't even remember what house I submitted. I need to get a little better than that. Hopefully you folks have seen what's at the Lux vendor. Holy crow. I'm in pain, but I'll be all right. We've got at the Lux vendor some serious cool stuff, plus very expensive stuff. So we've got the second parter of all of the Somerset pretty things, right? But I think I'd be remiss if I didn't start by saying everybody's pretty much lost their minds over how expensive the stuff is this time. We're talking about, the trees are pretty reasonable. There's some maple trees. But then there's the windmill, which everyone was kind of expecting to be maybe topped out at 100K, because that's generally as high as it goes. With this might be the most expensive item I've ever seen at the Lux. So for a $250,000, cool $250,000, you can get a ginormous windmill. I mean, we're talking enormous. It's not, yeah, it's not interactable. So I decided to buy two of them. I put one on top of my lintel. Now, if you set it in front of your lintel, it's actually taller than lintel itself. That's how big this is. We're talking enormous. So I stuck it on top of lintel, and I have another one in storage. I haven't figured out where I would put it. But it's definitely an investment. It's not as useful as the greenhouses were. Like, for example, I can picture a glass floor for the greenhouses. For the windmill, I can't really picture much that you can do that doesn't make it look like a windmill. You could maybe turn it into a plane of some sort if you can figure out how to hide everything but the spinning blades. But it's definitely worth, pick one up. If you don't want to pick up if you don't want to like invest a ton of money, just pick one up, and stick it in one of your homes. Don't go crazy with it. But it's good to grab one because you just know that it'll be highway robbery if you don't pick it up. People are going to, charge an arm and a leg for it in the future. I'm sure there will be some people who are buying them for investment purposes and are going to sell them and make a little bit of money down the line. Jay Hart might be doing that. I would not be surprised if he isn't investing a little bit. Although, how many people can invest in $250,000? I don't know. Me, but I don't know if I would. I bought 20 of all of the trees. They're pretty pricey too, I guess. Hey, Faye. I want to use everything, but I haven't used it yet. I'm expecting to see some really stunning homes in the future with using all the items, though. They're pretty awesome. Seeing a lot of complaints on ESO's websites about people not being able to finish the Orsinium quests because of the new house. This is now not for us. What I'm talking about. You're not really playing to in gold, so rip you. Okay. What was I saying? You can get on and just grab one, can't you? If you wanted to, Faye. Or are you unable to get on the computer even? Like, unable to get on the game even? So yeah, so people on, it's not us on PC, but those of us on console have now can't do the Orsinium quests because it's just so crazy. They patched PC, so this actually happened on all platforms. They literally cut and pasted a longhouse, the king's longhouse from Orsinium, and pasted it to make it into, well, now we know how lazy they are, into the longhouse in the new house, Forge Master Falls. But they didn't change the numbers. So now the real longhouse, the king's longhouse that they copied, and it has invisible walls in it because of all of the things that, because it's basically in two places at once and it's causing major issues. So you can't even get into the King's Longhouse in order to complete the Orsinium quest. I do know it takes them a lot longer to do anything for console, whether it's the coding or the compiling or whatever the reason is, it takes them longer. So we're going to end up, those people on console like, Nastarish and whatever, they're not going to be able to do the main Orsinium quest. Now, granted, most of us have done that by now or aren't going to do it. I mean, at this point, it's been out for what, 2+ years? So I'm sure it doesn't affect a ton of people, but I've seen enough that people have been seeing people have been complaining. Okay. You don't have enough gold? Exactly true. But it's just, it's kind of like, you know, embarrassingly bad that they did that. What else? Oh, I don't have enough of those things. I need more ectoplasm. I don't have enough ectoplasm. Excuse me, I'm in a lot of pain, so that's why I'm talking kind of funny today. Holding my jaw funny. Then we have other news. We have, if you're in BMW, they have a no theme contest for March 26th. It's a trading guild. If you want into that guild, they're really nice. They do have minimums though. So, I mean, I don't find them too hard to make the minimums, but even if you can't, you can always just pop in some money at the end of the week for raffle tickets. They're worth applying to. They're a bunch of very nice people. It's a very well run guild. Like there's like a team of people, and I feel like they're one of the best run guilds out there. Very democratic. Gotcha. So I mean, now would be the time if you're interested in trying out a new trading guild to deal with, because they have a contest coming up, and you can submit any house of your own, which I kind of like. I kind of wish Jhart would do one of those, like just open says me. Uh-oh. I don't know that I want to open this mail. Okay. I got cat hair in my mouth. Okay. Where did I go with the bank? I have to go back to the bank. Oh, sorry I'm doing all this on, I figured we'll talk news while I'm doing it. So then we have, on the 26th, we have a whole bunch of things happening. First of all, it's the start of the Jesters Festival. So I don't know about you, but I mean, I don't know what that means in terms of, it probably means 1.5 tons of extra banners. You know, those Jesters banners? I think we'll all get another 100 or so of those. I'm not sure what it means in terms of furnishings. Do we know? I don't think we know. Jester's Fest is always just pretty much silly. For anyone who has never done it before, there's 3... No, we're going to get more banners, I'm pretty sure. I have a house full of banners. It's kind of ridiculous. There's 3 characters that meet you outside of 3 major towns, one for each. What's the word I'm looking for? Faction. And you talk to them, and they're pretending to be the king and the queen of different factions, and they're being silly. And basically they challenge you to some silly quests, and you usually get one really good box, and then any box after that is usually filled with junk. Yeah, they are funny. They are funny, especially the first time you ever do it. And then we'll probably get tickets for that. And I'm guessing the last berry for, or another berry for the spectral will be out. And we can get tickets and turn them in for that. On the same day, Jhart has his chocolatier challenge due. I'm not sure whether or not, I don't think I'm going to do that one, because my last big build was actually a box of chocolates. And I kind of feel like I'm spent. Like that was my chocolate idea. My other ideas for chocolate aren't so good. So I don't know that I'm going to do it. I've actually been telling my friend Griff that I'm not going to do it, and he's kind of grumpy with me. He wants me to do, I had come up with an idea for a chocolate fountain, but I didn't like the way that it came out, and I'd rather spend my time and energy on builds that actually interest me. So that build, because I've already done it so recently, I don't want to do another one of it. But I encourage you all to enter because there's lots of things you could do with chocolate. Chocolate bunnies. If you work with EHT, there is a rabbit in EHT that you can actually turn brown. And I've done this before. And it looks like a chocolate rabbit. And you could even just make a basket of Easter candy or something, you know? It could be a really cute thing. If you want to take that idea, feel free. I have no complaints. March 28th is also J-Heart. March Meme Madness. Now, I know Faye has a meme. I have a meme. If you have trouble coming up with a meme, I can always probably just think about it with you and we can do something for a meme. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, good. I'm really looking forward to the luck one. I'm looking forward to that. I wish it were this weekend. You know what I mean? I wish it wasn't in the middle of a week. But I guess it makes sense with, you know, the day. It's St. Patrick's Day. But I kind of wanted him to do mine on Friday the 13th because mine is bad luck, but he doesn't know that. So mine would have been so much better on Friday the 13th. Especially since there's a calendar in that house that actually says Friday the 13th on it. Okay. And then the last one for the month for me is Housing's Finest, is the camp. And, oh, okay. Faye, what country are you in again? Did you tell me? Am I on crack? You're one of my Euros, I know that. I just don't know which one. Portugal. Okay, I never remember that, Faye. Well, why would you? I mean, I don't know how many Irish people you have in Portugal. Do you have a lot of Irish people in Portugal? America took a lot of immigrants during, especially for Ireland during the 1850s, 1850s mostly actually. So we have a lot of Irish descendants, like people descended from Irish people here or whatever, because, you know, there's a lot of immigration during the, not just the potato famine. You know what, it's really interesting. A lot of women came on their own, almost more women than men. It's kind of surprising. There's a story behind it, but I won't bore everybody with it. But it was funny because I do a lot of work on a cemetery. I do volunteer work on a cemetery in New York City, and what I do is I get the information and I put it online for people so that they can find ancestors who've been buried, where they're buried, and then maybe send somebody to go take a picture. Now, to put this into context, that's one of the cemeteries has, for example, how many people are buried in Calvary Cemetery in New York City. 3 million people are buried in Calvary Cemetery in New York City since its establishment in 1848. So when you're driving past it, it just goes and goes and goes and goes. It just doesn't stop. It's kind of amazing, like how really truly big Calvary Cemetery is. So unless you know exactly where somebody is buried in that cemetery, you can't really say, hey, can you go walk the cemetery and tell me and take a picture of my family grave, you know? You can't do that. So I know that there are several people who've made it their life's work to walk parts of that cemetery, and you can't do it in a single lifetime. And they write down all the names and they put the names up and take pictures and whatnot, but you really need to know where people are buried. So similarly, the cemetery that I do, Holy Cross Cemetery in New York City, has, I don't even know, It started in 1849, and it has a lot of people buried there. Millions, probably over a million. Um, so I put a lot of time and effort into putting information up there for people. I managed to get a list of everyone who's buried there and where they're buried. So it's up online mainly because of my work of getting it up online. And only 12% of it has been photographed. I mean, it's a lifetime of kind of thing. I'm actually wrong. The listed memorials are 500,000. So there's 500,000 graves in there. I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought it would be more. Am I going to get yelled at for talking about cemeteries? Oh, okay. Really? It's actually a really interesting story. Um, so basically, thousands of single Irish women the left Ireland after the Great Potato Famine. So mostly during the potato famine, it was men, and it was just a normal immigration, families, whatnot, single guys trying to start their lives. But after the Great Potato Famine, it was mostly women who immigrated on their own, and they became they were known in New York City, especially. Almost all of them were housekeepers, and the reason why is they were considered extremely cleanly. They were hired mostly as domestics, sometimes nannies, but mostly domestics. And although there was a lot of prejudice against Irish people because they were Catholic, the Irish women, above all, were considered to be extremely clean and good housekeepers. Basically, here's what the quote is. Changes in marriage and inheritance patterns lowered the status of unmarried women and made marriage increasingly unlikely. As a result, many women immigrated to the United States and worked using their wages to help others immigrate. Some eventually married. So here's the curious bit. So essentially, what it was is like, in part, there weren't enough men there for them to ever get married. They couldn't support themselves. Everybody was still pretty much broke. It just sucked. It was a terrible time for women. And then once single women started coming here, they brought others over. It was more of a popular thing. But here's the catch-22. So a lot of those women became teachers, right? So you have to support yourself somehow. There were three main ways that women could support themselves by themselves when they came over here. And I know this is a tangent, but we'll get back to housing in a minute. But this is actually interesting shit for me. There were three main reasons why what Irish women, single women, would do to support themselves when they got here. The worst was they did washing. They would bring in washing and they would do it for people. But generally, Italians and other people took those jobs. They were housekeepers. They were known as excellent housekeepers and maids. So most of them became that. But there was also a huge portion of them that became teachers. Remember, they speak English, so they became good teachers. But teachers couldn't marry. So this tremendous amount of people who single women who came here, so many of them became school marms that there was just this huge portion of Irish women that never married, never had kids. Because, what are you going to do? You're a school marm. You get into a career and you're not allowed to marry. So it was just this, unless you quit, and a lot of women had become self-sufficient by that time and didn't want to quit. So there's these enormous swathes of Holy Cross Cemetery, which is a mostly Catholic, it's a Catholic cemetery, but it's mostly Irish and Italians. Huge amounts of single Irish women, just an enormous percentage of them never married and are buried in Holy Cross Cemetery in New York City because they all came over and became either school marms or something else. It's just a really fascinating story. And they weren't going to get married in Ireland, so they came here. A lot of them settled in New York City, and you don't hear much about it, but they had very successful lives in terms of immigrants. They made decent wages. People used to fight over, Irish housekeepers, because they had such a good reputation. Anyway, so there you go. Really weird conversation tangent, but I think it's interesting. And of course, there's more dead babies than anything else. No vaccines back then, but I would say the second largest group of people is probably either single Irish women or something like that. And they're all named Bridget and Mary for the most part. It is sad. It is sad. But not all of them ended up single, and getting married isn't exactly everybody's end goal. If you wanted a satisfying career, and that was your end goal, well, you had it. You become a teacher. Some people, that's all they want. They don't want to get married. It's not everybody's end goal. Sorry, DJ. Well, I mean, even the stereotype of like the Irish Catholic and how clean their houses were. You could eat off the floor. That was the stereotype. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and so it was really drilled into them to be neat and clean, and they were. And so that was what basically got them hired. Actually, they had a better shot at becoming quote unquote successful. Ugh. Quote unquote successful than the men did, because there was more prejudice against the men. It's harder for them to get jobs. Oh, I'm sure you're kidding. Hey, Volsadol. Next. It was just something I never knew, and the only reason I found out about it was like, I was like, God, there's so many more single Irish women than there are anything else. Like, I don't get it. So I wasn't going to do the Housing's Finest Builders contest for a camp, March 31st, because I didn't have a good idea. I was going to do a Civil War camp. I couldn't get my head around it, la la la. And I was arguing with Griff about it last night, my friend Griff. And I was so mad at him because he said something, and then all of a sudden this idea popped into my head, fully formed, of what kind of camp I want to do. Like, I have the exact image in my head done. And I was like, damn you. Yeah, no, exactly, Keely. I was talking to who was it? There was somebody else. We were having that same exact conversation. I really wasn't inspired by the farm idea, and I wasn't inspired by the camp idea. And I know people in Guild voted for them, and I'm just not sure why. Those seem, I mean, the farm I kind of get, but a camp? Did somebody already have a camp done? Like, why did people vote for that? Very strange. There are no marshmallows, Lars. You are crazy. I don't get it. I don't know why that one was so appealing. I don't remember what I voted for, but I voted for something. I just didn't vote for the camp. It's just, okay, so you're thinking military camps. Even military camps are kind of dull. There's only so many things that were really in these homes. We'll go look at a house right now, and then we'll come back to it. But I don't get it. Like, why does anyone care? But I do have peeps, and we're going to slaughter them, because that's what I do. They are stale peeps, which is my favorite. And the reason why they're my favorite is because I like to punch their noses in. and then have them stay punched inside out. That's my favorite part of Peeps. I don't even need to eat them. I just didn't need to abuse them because I'm a freak. So, when we get to the part with the marshmallows, I will torture my own. Okay, here we go. Let us go to an open house. Hi. Lloyd, you mean? Lloyd is not going to eat them this week. Ooh, that's interesting, Keely. You could do that. I don't know T-Dog. Let's see if there's something smaller, though. I don't necessarily want to do a huge-ass house as the first thing. Leslax is on. Leslax, can I go to your erstwhile? If you're here. Leslax was here. I'm going to head over just assuming. Yes, Lloyd. Lloyd can eat them. We'll put some in Lloyd's mouth. But I'll go get my stick. I was planning on sticking them on a stick. Sorry, I was being harassed.
Okay.
Need a bamboo stick for Lloyd, not for Lloyd, but for the Peep. The Peep is not going to end well. Lloyd is not yet dressed for Easter, though, guys. I haven't brought up my Easter stuff, so Lloyd doesn't have his bonnet. He doesn't have anything. So he's kind of lame. Feel free. But this is Lloyd. He definitely needs to have his Easter bonnet. Would you believe I'm 43 years old? Do I act 43? Do people my age actually do this weird shit, or is it just me? I'm beginning to think it's just me. Alright, so remember, these are really stale, so Lloyd's gonna have to do a lot of chewing. Okay. So we've got Lloyd is killing a Peep for Easter. We'll get his bonnet out later and dress him up and everything. If it's, you know, oh good. I'm glad it's not just me. And then this is going to be a very sad end for this Peep. And my favorite part of Peeps, punching in their little beaks until they look silly and make me laugh. I don't know if you can see his face, but doesn't that make you laugh? His little punched in nose. So he's gonna be my prop for a while. So anyway, so here we are in Leslax's erstwhile, which, you know, it's a cave, but they've made it more cavey somehow, and I like it. I'm gonna get so mocked. Look at the little eyes. Leslax put this at just the perfect height so that you see the eyes coming up, right? You're like, oh, that's creepy. When it's looking looking at you properly, see? You see the eyes? Ooh, spooky. Good idea. I'm such a geek. Is it really geeky to be silly? Isn't it more dorky? Goof. Goof, yes. I don't know that it's geeky, but it's definitely goofy. I am in the nerd herd, trust me. I just bored you all with stories of Irish female immigrants from the 1850s. Don't you think I'm already in the nerd herd? I love this cave. Look how lush it is and all the color. Leslax, you did a really good job. Interesting. Look at the way the color is done. So usually this is very drab and dark blue. You know, you come in here and you're like, it's grayish blue. But you see, when you come into this one, you realize, I see a lot of green. I see a lot of that color, that clear, but almost amber color, and blue. Like, those are the colors that jump out to me. Green, amber, and blue. And this house is usually kind of dull, but they've made it so organic. I really like it. I wish Leslax were still on, because I'm looking at their house and I'm really impressed. Even though it's creepy and there's a lot of creepy crap going on, it's interesting. Oh, my mouth. Just ignore me. Yeah, I like the little hat. He needs a little hat. I got completely turned around, but is that a brazier in Calgronsa's mouth? Like a purple-blue brazier? That's a way of dealing with the fire being overwhelming. Just put something else in there. This is really neat. It feels alive, you know what I mean? I really like it. It's almost like... Oh, that's awesome. Look at the sparkly behind the waterfalls. Those moon vines behind the waterfalls. That's a really neat effect. I like it. I've seen people do that with wedding flowers, but not with... Somebody has a fart stick here. Interesting. This must be a witch's house or something. This looks very magical-y. Like, I can't even think of the word. You made a tree. Where is it? Do you want me to look at it? Or is it for a contest? Mouth hurts. Mouth. So we've got... I don't even... Like, I can't even... What even is going on here? I don't... What is the story here? Oh, okay. I mean, really, what's going on here? Because I see sacrifices. Somebody sacrificed a bird. I don't get the story. I just know it's creepy. That's a good way of dealing with this room. The way they closed it off is cool. That's really eerie. Oh, wow. The greenhouse here. It just looks like a glassed-in room. It really is neat. They re-roofed it. Because if you don't, the rain will come through. So that's smart. Oh my lord. I told you. He's gay. Nothing wrong with it, but he ain't into the beaver. Okay. And then we've got like a mausoleum portion. Ow, everything hurts. Just shoot me. All of these little... It's almost like, you know, those insets, talking about cemeteries. At cemeteries before, like now they have those... It isn't just people being buried in cemeteries. They usually have a building and they'll have glass encased with or ashes next to, like, you know, picture of the person, or in some cases like a letter to the person or something. So for people who got cremated rather than buried. Interesting way of doing it. I forget what they're called. How could I forget what they're called? Shame on me. Somebody important died here. So they're at 586 out of 700. So I'm pretty sure that less. Is it a mausoleum? I think a mausoleum's just like one for one family usually. I think it's I want to say it's got a different name. I forget what it is for the ashes. So I think they have room to expand. And so if I were to suggest anything, only thing I would suggest would be make more use of, if you have them, use more of the greenhouses, because I think you could do something really cool with the waterfalls and the greenhouses. I think you could make a really neat effect. But it's beautiful. I'm actually really, really impressed. Okay. Just shoot me. Okay, what is the name of it? Columbarium. Okay, thank you. So sometimes they call them niches or niches, I guess. I used to walk a cemetery almost every day. There was this cemetery in Monona, Wisconsin. And when I first moved out here, I was dealing with a lot of grief. And the way I did it was, dealt with it, was I would go to the cemetery and I'd take pictures of the graves and put them up online for people. And, you know, because people request photos of graves out here. Or anywhere, really, that they can't go easily. So, they had one of those in there, and it was actually sadder than the rest of the houses, but the rest of the graves, because it's like people go there often and leave things. Like they'll leave a letter or a photograph or food, even like non-perishable food. Like I've seen people leave like a bottle of wine or whatever. And it's just like, you know, somebody's grieving hard. It's always really sad for me. Grief is interesting to me. Anyway, off we go. So next month, the first contest is going to be a show contest for DDA, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Hold on a second. Aw, look at Cardi. To date, you've signed a combined 1,926 journals. You are literally a gem, a diamond. And then he attached the diamond. What a sweetheart. Oh. See, guys, this is why I love Cardi. And, you know, I missed some of them. Like, some of them I didn't sign. That's not even counting the ones that didn't. Erstwhile is going to be harder to do. Unless you want a dark and evil garden. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, in general, I would think that the meadow would be better for a garden, but, you know, it depends on the whole feeling you're going for. All right. I am low on cloth. So I guess I know what I'll be doing later today. Too much? Too overwhelming? Is that why it makes you want to cry? Hey, Nest. Yeah, it is a little overwhelming. It's just exactly how I feel about it. It's why I haven't bought it yet. I want to buy it when I have an idea for it. That way I don't feel as overwhelmed. I mean, I'm going to do my camp actually in St. Delans, which I normally hate. And I think that that's what made the idea pop in my head for what I want to do, because I was thinking that that would limit it and make it easier for me to tackle and make it more bite-sized. And if it doesn't win, it doesn't win, you know? But I do have some ideas for it. And we will deal with some of them shortly. All right, so there, the junk heap. Clockwork junk heap. I guess I gotta buy some more junk heaps. So if you're looking for something that looks like dirt, if you don't want to use EHT for it, my suggestion is to use clockwork or elsewhere rubble. Both are purchasable from furnishing vendors. And you have to use the bottom of either one of them. But here, I'll show you. Oh, wait, I'm talking to the wrong person. We want you. Okay, so we're talking about this, the junk heap. And I think maximum only 4. I may not even need that many, but if you have extra, you have extra, you know? All right, let's look at another house and then we'll... Let's start from the top. Briolace. I don't know this person, Ravenhurst. Always interesting. Sorry, I'm quiet. My jaw's killing me. Trying to focus. Oh, yeah. I want to. Somebody was asking about EHT stuff on J Hart's stream yesterday and was like losing their mind over the fact that you could do text and whatnot. And then they asked J Hart if he could do a stream on how to use EHT, and that just broke me. J Hart doesn't use EHT. He doesn't even build all that much. Oh, oh, all the clutter. Yay. Oh, this pleases me. Bridal lace. 400 out of 400 items, and we've got a little magic-y area over here. Excuse me while I make use of a zombie here. Man, I blew so much money. All right. Let me grab things to send to me later. Okay. Yeah, right. Oh, cool. I'm happy to hear that. That's weird. I've never noticed the scuttle blooms start closed before. Usually they are always open. Use of a lot of movement here. We've got butterflies and, you know, plants, moving pets. Sorry, words hard. If you ever need a chain, this chain is so stupid long that if you bury this portion in the roof or a floor, you've got tons of chain. What an interesting touch for a fire pot. Like, I wouldn't have expected the candle and the flowers there, but it looks really nice. Very attractive use. It's very pink light. I'm trying to figure out why the light is so pink. There must be something hidden here for a pink light. Got some creepy touches in between the pretty. There's definitely it's like an alchemist's house or a botanist's house. I'm gonna go with alchemist. Or witch. Interesting. Almost like wall art. And then the bedroom up here. Did they close off the courtyard? I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because there's a lot inside. But oh, okay, no, they just ran with it and did a little bit further of a botany garden and a graveyard. Man, it's all about the graveyards today. Some of their trees are floating. My suggestion would be, obviously, you select it and then right click and it's a dead issue. Punny. It'll put it right down on the ground if you right click. So just in case you have that floating problem, you don't, there's a kind of easy fix for it. All right. So the next thing I need are those fishing poles, but I forget which vendor has them. Lovely North. If you ever are looking for what vendors have what in terms of furnishing vendors, use this site. Lovely North. They have pretty much the best site for that. I would assume it would be under more. Maybe not. Nope. I guess it's under structural. I guess they put it under structural. Why? I don't know. But the rough fishing spear is what I'm talking about. Who has that? I have that in Earthtear, Earththar's Roost, and Eastmarch. So we're gonna buy some of those fishing spears because actually the rough rod fishing rather. I'm gonna use that one instead because I want to have marshmallows be roasted. So I want them to have sticks over the fireplace, over the fire. This is for a camp. My very, very small camp. Small, S-M-O-L. Jaw is killing me. I always have trouble finding the Fort Amel furnishing person without looking at the map. Looky. Great. It is in a strange place, but not as strange as like Cormount. I want 4 of these. I need 4 of these. Just in case you didn't know, you can buy those little bread morsels. You don't have to go out and spend some time, you know, stealing or anything. You can just buy them. Okay, I have to grab a fire. I have all of my lights and fires at Grand Topol. Because, of course, I use Grand Topol as a storage house. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I wouldn't mind a friend sending me, like, random shit, but it's... I don't know. Thanks for the follow, Abby. I don't have grand plans. That's the problem. Like, I can't think of what to do. And then you go to Ninja's house, and it's just like, ugh, I can't compare to this. Lighting, fires, common campfire, boom. What do I have? Do I have anything to send? What guild is that? Ninja Monkey's Grand Topol makes me want to have a horse available. Griffins might. Never heard of them. That must be an EU guild. I don't know if you guys know about what Ninja Monkey did here, but it's sort of disgusting in terms of... I don't know how anyone could ever outdo it. I don't know streamers. I wish I knew more about streamers than I do. I don't really follow streamers. I follow a lot about, like, you know, building and stuff. Like, I'll read the news every day for the forums and whatnot. So, ooh, I didn't know that. So this is the beginning of Ninja Monkey's house. I'm not going to look at everything and take forever like I did last time. I'm just going to run you through it and you can sort of make up your own mind about it. But because I've run through it before, I don't want to over abuse it. Plus, there's alternate ways than the way I go. I love this. I love this jellyfish aquarium. Isn't that amazing? I feel like this entire house is saying, I have too much money. I need to give it to Stabby. Oops. Oh, how do you get up on that bridge? Now, if it were me, I get what he's doing here. This is almost like a playground of sorts, you know, where everything is just so neat. But I think I personally would have focused on the pathways. There's so many different little ways you can run off and do things that it's almost a little bit overwhelming to figure out where to go. I probably would have figured done the path and then the high up stuff. But that's just me. These are crown item bridges, by the way. They are going to port over NA shortly for the PTS. And you can go and try building over there if you'd like. With your NA characters, if you have one. Calgrant is a recent addition. He wasn't here before. Let us see if this is the place that goes all the way up. See, I find multiple paths to be overwhelming. I like to have a, you know, go this direction and that's the direction I want you to go kind of thing. Makes me feel more comfortable. But that's just me. So, I mean, it's really kind of embarrassing once you see what he's able to do. I realized, you know, maybe I should stick to doing bigger builds in this house because there's just so much going on. I'm buying the materials for it, Griff. I'm getting to it, but I wanted to show people this amazing house. Yeah. I hardly blame you. All these little pretty nooks and crannies, though, I'll say that. He's got a lot of little hidden niches, to use a word that we just heard. I don't know if you can get up that high. There must be a way, I just don't know what it is. Maybe, oh, you can just walk up. Derp. Who knew? Not me. Really beautiful blue. I see how he limits his item count. He's expecting you to figure out ways to get to different places on your own using the terrain. but that isn't always obvious to me. So there's the front view of this majestic thing. But believe me when I say it keeps going. Goes all the way around the island. Which I didn't know you could do, but apparently you can. Am I boring you, Griff? And I'm not going to be roasting anybody over a fire. I wonder if I'll live. That's a yes. Sometimes he'll sink things down a little bit, and I don't know if it's because the slaughterfish will get you, or if it's just for looks. It is amazing. I love it too. And it deserves to be appreciated. It's such a massive scale. I believe I hear that my husband is making pizza, or leftover pizza, which I'm not sure I can eat because of my jaw problems. Okay, I see what it is. I'm gonna have to start paying more attention to terrain in ninjas' houses because I never would have thought to take the rock over normally. Learning something new every day. Imagine, okay, this is the end of it. Okay. Imagine you have an entire culture of Alfiq and Khajiit living up in high up. I mean, there is the tree Khajiit, but I meant like, happy Saturday, Cloud, you too. I mean, not just tree Khajiit. I mean like normal Khajiit living up in high up pieces of, I don't know, it's just cool. I think it would be neat. But in general, this is the house, and I'm getting guff from Griff telling me to get started out of the house. So I'm gonna go to St. Delage real quick and get started. And I will be right back. Oh, God.
I just scooped like a minute ago, but he got his pills and went trotting off. So I'm guessing.
I'm still streaming, but I figured, I don't know how late the blood test is.
Um, I assume they were. Well, I don't know if they're open on Sundays for the blood test.
Oh, crap, they're not. We showed them yesterday. Totally forgot.
Hold on, what day do you think today is?
Oh, Saturday. They're open on Saturdays.
Right, I was thinking about, could we go tomorrow?
Why would we go tomorrow?
Because you're still streaming.
I can call my stream and do it later.
It's up to you.
So, unfortunately, I have to get a blood test done right now before the place closes.
I think they're closed.
They're closed?
Checking.
I don't think they're closed at noon. If they're closed, I'm kind of screwed.
What clinic? Hold on.
Thanks for the follow, kitty. All right, so we're gonna put some dirt down while my husband's looking this up. Remember, you gotta flip them upside down. I think I might need more. Who'da thunk it? I probably need 2 more. Maybe not. Now I gotta get pine trees. I moved all of my trees to Old Spell, I think. I'm checking to see if I can, Griff.
8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Your choice.
8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday?
What the web says.
Oh, I can go tomorrow. I don't have to leave.
In a pinch, we can go Monday, too.
It's up to Andy, not me. So, don't give me any guff, sir. Oops. I guess I stopped at the wrong spot. But I might as well pick up things for a campfire. Packs. So we're gonna do a campfire scene. Huh. We'll test both of those out. Do you think we should put game up by a camp? Does it so it looks like that they were shooting or hunting or something? I think maybe a carcass would do good. Andy, when do you want to go? Today or tomorrow?
I drive by it every day.
That wasn't the question.
I'm going to be going there every day. Doesn't matter to me at all.
Want some Jesters banners, everyone? I have enough for everyone. I think I can use the Reekling and those beds. And then tents. No, what? What did I do? Oh, whether or not to give you the Jesters, yeah. Okay, I moved my trees to Boulder Tree. I don't know. I don't want to destroy them, but you're absolutely right. It's a little bit much. It doesn't matter, Griff, if I go today or tomorrow. He's not going to see the results until Monday anyway. Doesn't make a difference. All it is a blood test. All they're doing is checking to see my inflammation, okay? And my inflammation is bad.
We aren't seeing him till Thursday.
We're not seeing the doctor till Thursday anyway. But he will see the results on Monday. I'm getting lectured. Ooh, skooma. There would be skooma at a camp, right? I'm kind of thinking pine trees. I want short ones though, so you can see the bottom of it. Hello. I think I'm picking huge trees, and I don't want huge trees. I want pine or short trees. I'm gonna have to sink some of them down, I think. True. What?
Looking at me in the alley. Yeah. What?
I think I'll use these snowy furs because they're fatter. I like them. We'll see how they work. I'm just building here.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
Did you give him his meds? He might be. Oh, you said you did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yelling, guys. I'm just checking to see if I'm leaving, which it doesn't look like I am. And then I was checking on my cat, who is complaining because he does that pretty much constantly. So we are going to do. I'm going to close the door so I don't get distracted anymore. I'll be out in a little while. I'm gonna get this started. I'm gonna get this party started. Interesting, there's no lights in here. Well, there will be shortly because campfire. Thanks for the follow, Jeweled Leah. So we're gonna have. This is gonna be a campsite. Not really my normal taste in what I would do normally, but I don't know. We'll see. I do want to cover up the regular house though. So I may run short on items. But the idea was to go really, I might get rid of the dirt if I need to. Okay. I might put an image right here, like an FX right here. I'll put the last dirt there eventually. All right, so we've got, I wanted to take the workshop. Okay, so I want one of these. These are going to be for roasting roasting marshmallows. So I've got, there, that's turned the right way. So I've got one. I had 4 in mind, but if it's going to be this tight a fix for all the things I want, I think I'm just going to stick to 2. And then we've got a bed. I do want a tent somewhere in here. It's gonna be tight. We'll only have 1 bed. That way I save slots. Pack. Okay, so the marshmallows are either I'm gonna go with a marshmallow, which is a piece of bread. Excuse me while I try to figure out how to get this exactly on the tip of this. There. Or I was thinking I could put a sweet roll. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but it's a little bit more obvious though what they would be doing, if that makes any sense. I think I might do that. I might go with the sweet roll. There. Oops, a little too high. Oop. When your hands do what you don't want them to do. We're gonna sweet rolls roasting on an open fire. Yeah, I think that works better than the bread, honestly. Although it's been said. Many times, many ways. Have a sweet roll for you. I'll fix the... This is a rough draft, as I always do rough drafts. So nothing is exactly where it's going to be. There. And we all know any good camping trip should have some booze. How many items do I have left? 10. 10 spaces. I can do this. Okay, cool. So we have the remains of the day, which is hunting. I don't want it right over the camp. That'll work. And then okay. So I need one more dirt, I think. And then I need probably my tent. I haven't decided which tent to use yet, but it'll be a simplistic one. Told you I wasn't going to go crazy on this, but I'm not, really. All right, so let's go to get a dirt. Oh my god, what difference does it make? I'm gonna have... I mean, I wasn't feeling very inspired by the whole contest, but like when I was thinking about it yesterday, I was thinking, what if I made something really small that sort of conveys the smell and the sound of everything? I don't know. One more. Actually, let me find where I have all my tents. None of these will do. I need a proper tent. I can make proper tents. I just need to figure out which one. So for trying to figure that kind of stuff out, your best bet is ESO Fashion, which is a website. I think probably the best tent for these purposes Wood Elf Tent Sturdy. I probably can make it.
You want the bus today or tomorrow then?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so let's go make a tent, a Wood Elf Tent Sturdy. This looks like it's a cloth item. Which would be upstairs in this building. You're also quiet. Have I killed chat? Because I'm building. Do I really not have this? Wood Elf Tent Sturdy. I guess I don't have this. Oh yeah, I guess we all are kind of building together, aren't we? I'm streaming, Griff. I won't start streaming tomorrow until I go. That's that's the way it's gonna. I'll take care of it before I even start streaming. It is big. Okay, so it looks like the cheapest one is in Senchal. Hmm. Well, I don't know where you're going to move to, Versatile, because, you know, the world has collectively lost their mind. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Hey, Faye, I haven't even started on my Sheo build, so that should tell you something. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Oh, crap. Hold on. No, I'm not out. But it doesn't hurt. Either way. I had to grab Andy before he left. He has to go pick up my. You know, that's what Amazon is for, Versatile. They have shopping like that. All right, so we've got. I want furnishings. I want a tent. Come on. Really? Somebody bought the stupid tent? All right, the next one is in Sadra's Mora. I'm just gonna go pick up a tent. Wood Elf tent sturdy. Excuse my face, it hurts. clothing. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's why I can't tell. I don't know. I didn't see the recipe, and I think it's clothing. Oh, you can make it. Just one. What do you need mats wise? I can sell you some. I can send you some mats. Yeah, I need the tent. Thank you, Cloud. Look at my chicken running in place. My stupid chicken. He's just running in place. He's still running in place. That is hilarious. Seriously, I have a skooma crackhead chicken. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just standing here and he's all, I'm going for a walk. I have no idea why it's doing that, but it's fascinating. Alright, I gotta go to St. Ellen's. Let's finish this sucker up. He's so cute! Oh, the Y, please, Cloud. And let me know what I owe you. And I'm going to show you the trick to putting things close to a door with EHT so it doesn't look stupid. All right, so you see how I can't put anything here? So we take the dirt, we turn it to the proper way, and then it won't, see it's red, it won't let me put it there because it sucks. So what we're going to do is we're going to move back a little bit, if I can. There. Ah, I can't see. I don't know where I am. I got stuck in my own apartment. Here we are. All right. Thank you, Cloud. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to select something. I don't want 2 items, so we'll deselect the carcass. So we have the junk heap is selected. That's the door. So what we do is we open up the little, where is it? There. And then we can just move this forward. Whoops. I have it on way too low of movement size. Forward, 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 rock, 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 rock. Only problem with building in here is I'm getting stuck on things. Okay. Forward, forward, forward. There. Down. Now, they do this for a reason. I mean, a very reasonable reason, which is that they don't want you to block the door. But I want it to look right. And they're making it not look right. There. Perfect. So that's how you do it. Look, I got something by the door. I have a tree in my face. Always, I think. Do I still have a tree in my face? Do I still have a tree in my face? I don't know why I'd have a tree on my face, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yay! Tent! Thank you. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to sink the tent down a little bit. And then I'll move my bag over. So it's 2 bags. The only other thing I was thinking about doing was 2 little stools. I mean, I'm thinking this is probably too simplistic compared to what people are going to do, but comparatively. So I'm creating an arbor above so no one can see the fact that it's an apartment, preferably. So I'm missing one. I need one more tree to cover that. I do think I have one. And then one more tree should do it. And then 2 stools. That's the hope. Like in the most recently posted? I don't think so. Unless you visited them in the past, in which case you can just sort by last visit. You can sort by effects date. So if for just the houses that have been updated with effects, you can do that. You know, I just wanted something really kind of cozy. So I may be going too small, but I was just thinking cozy for camp. Cozy and warm, and I'm not trying to win. I just don't want to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? All right, trees. I need one more snowy tree. That's too big. Crap. That's not big enough. I just, I could just pick up a plain old pine. Yeah, I'll just pick up a plain pine. Oh, Seraphi, I'm trying. I'm trying to remember that always, but it's hard. Even for seasoned builders, it's hard to always remember that you know, you don't always have to be the best. You can just go for what makes you happy. Appreciate it. You're right, too. Ooh, cornflower. Win. My chest isn't back yet. Sadness. All right, I just need one pine tree. I don't think they sell the snowy pines, so I may be stuck with just a regular pine, but that's okay. That's huge. I want kind of like a little pine. I guess the sapling, I'll buy 2 just in case. And then, I said chairs, didn't I? I think those stools are not here. Maybe I'll skip stools, but I was thinking stools. They might, I think they're in Earththar's Roost, but I'll double check. I'm just gonna run to where I think it is. Earththar's Roost. I was right. So let's hope there's... Sometimes I notice the Lovely North isn't always 100% right. There's sometimes it directs me to wrong places. But we'll see. I just need 2. 2 little stools. Although, where would they get stools from? What do people sit on? Don't they sit on little stools or something? Where do they... They must. I did. Logs. That I can do. You know what would be perfect? The Argonian chimneys. Yep. Just thinking the same thing. Yeah, exactly. All right, where is the Argonian chimney? I know I can make it. It's just a question of where it... What? I guess workshop? I think it's under. There it is. 2 of those. So that'll be it. Let's go on back and that should finish it. And I'll finally have a use for my St. Dullen, which I otherwise find to be kind of a useless house because of the 30 item limit. But I guess I was sort of challenging myself. Is it a problem that I'm building on stream for the contest, Sarafi? I was just realizing that maybe it might be a problem for Housing's Finest if I'm building my submission online. I mean, I don't know. Okay. We've got... Where's my workshop? There. We've got 2 little... Okay, cool. We've got this one. I'll turn it a little bit so it doesn't look like it's... That works. That's 1. And then the other one would be like over... Where's the stick? Over here. The stick is unfortunately misplaced now that I put the tent up. So let me fix that. Perfect. I am actually happy with that. Conservatory. Come on, tree. Don't be too huge. I need you to block some ceiling here. Just one little spot. Oh, I did that terribly. It's hard to do it blind, and that's really what you're doing when you're trying to place trees because they're so big. Come on. Did that do it? Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna get out of it, I think. Okay, so let me take a picture for Seraphi. And I think we have our camp. My Kraken home has this in it. Let me send it to Seraphi. And sent. This is my Kraken home. And I really don't want to take it apart. It makes me happy. It's my little fairy garden. So watch me, no entrance, no access. Oh no, it's limited. Cool. So that's my big issue is the I just have other stuff there. The only other thing I really want to do is I want to add lightning bugs and whatnot. So there's going to be some effect work, but in terms of items, I think we're done in St. Dawn's, but thank you. I needed the extra items. Without the extra item slots of Kragenholm, it really wouldn't have worked in a smaller house. So let me show you how to do that. We'll do lightning bugs. Or fireflies, whichever. We could also do mosquitoes, but that would be annoying. Come on. All right. So for EHT, let's go into essential effects, and I think it's under torch bugs. Nope. Fireflies. Yeah. Sporadic. I'll add 2 sets. So, okay, now we have them. Let me just close this. And then now we have fireflies. They're sporadic, but I think that's better. And then I'm going to put a picture over this, I'm thinking, so that we've got some sort of woods or something. Painting. Grotwood. Crowswood? Grotwood? No, grotwood wouldn't work. Blackwood borderland? Hey, I'm looking the wrong way. I need to face a direction where I can actually see things. So I've got Blackwood borderland. No. Crowswood. No. Grotwood. Why are all the woods green? That is so weird. I mean, not green. Blue. All right. That's not helpful. I suppose I can put the scenery in and see if that works. Now, see, this is normally something you could put around your entire house in a larger scale. So we're going to have to make these a little bigger. They're supposed to be like off in the distance kind of thing. so that like you can see them around your house. There. Right. I think that'll work. Whoops. Pretty well. May not be perfect, but it'll be something. So when you first come in, your view will be a little bit obscured, but you step forward and there you go. You've got everything you need. So it's going to be a little, I need to just tweak it a little bit, but I think it's, like, oh wait, whoops, I selected the wrong thing. We need the Rothgar Forest. That'll do. Okay. And then I want something moving other than the fireflies. I was thinking, I have a slot left. I was thinking about maybe the torch bot. That or a dog. I think a hunting dog might be better. Yeah, I just need to figure out, this guy just looks too starving to death, but I don't know who to use. Probably just him. And now we have a little bit of movement. And I think we're done. Like, really done. I think it's all added. I think I'm happy with this. Those trees are inside the tent. Let's move the trees outside of the tent. Kind of crazy, isn't it? All right, let's rotate that out so that I get a little more filler. There. All right, let me send the mail to Viewdang just so she has it for her records. And then let's check out one last house. Let's see, what do we have? We'll do a big one. Let's do Earthtear. What, the trees? Well, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to fiddle with it a little bit more in terms of... But you can always say, I always am looking for proper ideas. Like, if I've screwed something up, I'd rather know than not know, right? But I always do a rough draft, so my stuff doesn't look neat and clean until it's really done. All right, so we're in. But you're always welcome to say, you won't be offending me. Everybody here knows I take a lot of criticism well. It doesn't bother me. So we're in 690 out of 700, and we have 13 effects, some of which are these. Also the fog and the spinning papers are all effects. I love the spinning papers. That's like my favorite effect. Got some paintings up. Looks like a trophy house with a kitchen, a precursor. Got a little library section over here. Dinner. Oh, we put some trees in the background with effects too. I would turn down the brightness just a tad on those trees, but otherwise they're fine. We got shop. Bank, shop, merchant. It's fully prepared. I do like a second floor here. I think this house really lends itself to a second floor. So this is very nice. So this is just, I guess, a bar. Yeah, I would think it's a bar. Inn maybe? Because there's also a sleeping area. And a fox. This house, you can do a lot with this house. I do like the fact that the ceilings are so high. It really makes it, opens it up to other options. That's an effect, by the way, that whirlpool. Huh. This must be where all the Argonians like to sit and dip their feet in the water. It's neat. I like it. A lot of effects. Well, I should say a lot. 13 isn't a ton, but they're used, what's the word? Front and center. They're sort of big focal points. Like the huge paintings, you know what I mean? Somebody put a little tent over there, or a little spot to sit. Thanks again, Cloud, for that tent. It was exactly what I needed. As soon as I get off the stream, I'm taking so many drugs. I'm in agony. My jaw is just swollen out. You can't see it. It's on the interior. It's the inside. But every time I chew, it's disgusting. The sound and it pops out every time I chew on anything. My husband was getting grossed out by it because it's like my jaw is so screwed up that eating with me is rather unpleasant right now. So, all right. So I'm leaving myself a lot of options for touring houses some other time, either later tonight or tomorrow, because of the fact we do have drops are on. So this was more of like a creative stream at this point, but I can always come back later if I'm feeling a little better and finish it off. And so we'll consider it if I'm the pain starts to fade. So I'm gonna call it for now. And thanks for helping me out with my house. And I will talk to you all later. Have a good one, taters.